At 11:47 p.m. on a Friday night in Harlem, a man pulled a trigger behind Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson's head. The man wasn't a stranger. He wasn't an enemy. He wasn't hired muscle. He was trusted. He was family. And when the trigger was pulled, nothing happened. No gunshot. No scream. No chaos. Just a single sound. A dry, hollow click. That sound didn't just freeze a room full of people. It froze the entire future of Harlem. Because what nobody in that room understood yet was this. Bumpy Johnson had already planned this moment weeks earlier. And what he did next would terrify the Italian mob more than any bullet ever could. By 1958, Harlem wasn't owned by banks or politicians. It was owned by influence. And no one had more influence than Bumpy Johnson. He wasn't the loudest gangster. He wasn't the most violent. He didn't walk around proving himself. He didn't have to. People listened when he spoke. People moved when he decided. People survived because he cared. Bumpy understood something most criminals never did. Power isn't about fear alone. Fear fades. Respect doesn't. When families couldn't pay rent, Bumpy stepped in. When small businesses were harassed, the harassment stopped. When outsiders tried to take what wasn't theirs, they didn't leave standing. Harlem wasn't just his territory. It was his responsibility. And that made him dangerous. The numbers racket was printing money. Millions of small bets from people with nothing to lose. The Italian families wanted it all, but every road into Harlem ended the same way. With Bumpy Johnson, they tried intimidation. Their men were beaten or disappeared. They tried negotiations. Bumpy refused. They tried politics. Bumpy already had better connections. Every move they made, Bumpy was already waiting. Eventually, frustration turned into desperation. And desperation leads to reckless decisions. That's when the five families stopped talking about business and started talking about murder. Behind closed doors, the conversation was short. Force didn't work. Money didn't work. Pressure didn't work. So someone finally said the quiet part out loud. You don't kill a man like Bumpy from the outside. You kill him from the inside. The room went silent because everyone knew exactly what that meant. You don't fight loyalty. You corrupt it. Big Sam Foster was impossible to miss. 6'4", built like a wall. Quiet, focused, reliable. He had stood beside Bumpy for years. He had taken bullets meant for him. He had watched friends die with him. He had guarded him without question. If Bumpy Johnson trusted anyone with his life, it was Big Sam. And that trust made Sam the perfect weapon. Late August, Sam left his apartment like any other day. That's when the Cadillac pulled up. No guns, no threats, just a smile and an invitation. Inside the car was a man who specialized in one thing, finding what hurts. He didn't talk about Bumpy at first. He talked about family, about hospitals, about bills. Then he said the number. Enough money to erase every problem Sam had. Enough to save a child's life. All for one act, one moment, one bullet. And then came the real threat. If you don't take this, nothing changes. And eventually, you lose everything anyway. That's how they get you, not with hate, with hopelessness. That night, Sam didn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling, thinking about loyalty, thinking about debt, thinking about his daughter struggling to breathe. He thought about the years he gave Bumpy, and he thought about the years his family might not have left. 3 days later, Sam made the call. He agreed. And in that moment, Harlem's fate shifted. But what Sam didn't know was far more terrifying. Before Sam ever said yes, before money ever changed hands, Bumpy Johnson already knew someone had approached him. Because Bumpy didn't rely on loyalty alone, he relied on awareness. Harlem spoke to him constantly. A parking attendant noticed a car. A bartender recognized a face. A detail didn't add up. When the information reached Bumpy, he didn't rage. He didn't panic. He thought, because killing Sam would have solved nothing. the mob would just try again. So Bumpy decided to do something far more dangerous. He let the betrayal continue. Bumpy didn't change his habits, didn't confront Sam, didn't alert anyone. Instead, he quietly prepared. He ordered a weapon that looked real. Betrayal. Wait, hate real. But could never fire. Then, with perfect timing, the switch was made. Sam never noticed. And now all Bumpy had to do was wait for Sam to expose himself. September 12th, the lounge was packed. Music flowed. Deals were whispered. Life continued. Bumpy sat relaxed, his back exposed. Sam watched from across the room. His heart raced. His hands shook. But he moved forward. Because once you take money like that, there's no turning back. At 11:47 p.m., Sam raised the gun and pulled the trigger. Click. The room froze. No gunshot, no death, just silence. Bumpy didn't flinch. He turned slowly and said calmly, "I was waiting to see if you'd really do it." In that moment, Sam understood the truth. Bumpy had known about everything. Sam collapsed. The betrayal crushed him. And then Bumpy revealed the final blow. The medical bills? Already paid. The money? Never needed. This wasn't revenge. It was a lesson. Bumpy didn't kill Sam. He stripped him of honor, of identity, of belonging. And then he exiled him. Alive. Bumpy turned to the room and spoke clearly. Harlem wasn't for sale. Its people weren't currency. And loyalty here couldn't be bought. By morning, the story had spread everywhere. The mob realized something terrifying. They weren't fighting a gangster. They were fighting a strategist. Bumpy Johnson didn't survive because he was violent. He survived because he was prepared, because he understood people, because he saw moves before they happened. The most dangerous weapon isn't a gun, it's knowledge. And that night, Harlem learned something important. Kings don't react. They wait.